Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the Uranus retrograde, which just happened yesterday, though it was stationed way back in May. The real retrograde dates are from August 24th, 2022, and they last for the next 5 months to January 22, 2023. So, this Uranus retrograde is unlike all others because its axis of spin around the sun is vertical. It's from east west instead of the regular north south. Hence, the retrograde energy behaves very differently too. Instead of a slowdown of energy, it tends to charge up, and shake-ups can be expected. So, in accordance to its axis spin direction, during the retrograde period, we realize that number one, people from countries in the West will experience an energy from the back. It'll be like a big push ahead. Visualize a gust of wind pushing you forward, and inadvertently, you feel as if you're forced to walk fast. Hence, the need to be careful, balancing all the while for the chances of toppling or tripping over due to overconfidence is a possibility. So, you need to utilize the natural force that edges you ahead to your advantage by carefully navigating through this vibration and energy. Number two, people from countries in the East will experience a surge of energy on the face from the front. It'll feel like everything is demotivating you or trying to push you back. Hence, the need to be carefully adjusting that backward force to move ahead, else, your chances of getting blown away is a possibility. So, during such times, we need to utilize this opposing force by remaining focused and channelizing energies in one direction rather than scattering it around. My thoughts on this profound planet of duality, Uranus, which basically gives us intelligence and creativity on one hand and creates upheaval on the other. In other words, the way I see it, it's all about an individual's identity. Again, divided into three parts the identity. Those who don't have identity feel frustrated. It impacts various aspects of your thoughts, your emotions, and personality. Having no identity screws up our own perspective towards ourselves and others. So you get into a complex frame of mind. Number two, those who have an identity but cannot identify with it, they live through parents, family, or spouses, or depend on borrowed identity, mostly get lost in understanding who they are or who they want to be. Often, this category remains confused and foggy. The third category is who we have built or who have built their identity on their own steam and are further capable of returning back to the world what they have learned from it. This way, they become leaders who are capable of showing the way for others to learn or follow. So, when Uranus goes retrograde, we all are forced to turn inwards and work on ourselves. For those who fall in the first category, they are reminded to utilize their talents to form their identity, or else they wither away, cribbing, creating negative all around. Those who fall in second category need to strategically work on their life. And those of the third category need to remember what made them who they are while maintaining their pride and dignity, help others build their life. They need to remember that the universal intelligence wants them to be a shining light for others because their words and learnings carries the weight of intelligence and experience. And failing to do so is what deprives us of peace and serenity. So you choose your own category and remove confusions from your life. Bottom line, as our spiritual Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, accomplish your worth in life and of your birth. And that's what exactly Uranus reminds us. And during its retrograde, greed and lust is something that one has to keep in control during the Uranus transit. So often during a Uranus retrograde, one experiences restlessness in a particular area of life, which is actually an indicator for us to focus our energies towards whatever is troubling us, be it personal or professional. The energies of the outer planets are potent during their retrograde because they are slow, deliberate, and determined in their movement. The role Uranus plays is always very sporadic and works intently on spheres where the change is needed or imminent in our life. The planet's placement and aspects give us a clue to where that change can take place and how it will unfold. So once you embrace the change, there is profound growth. I have always believed that a bit of change frees you from the monotony and the shake-up gets you unstuck, making you realize of the lethargic pattern you had fallen into. And Uranus, like I feel, is all about freedom, revolution, sudden change, and rebellion for a cause. Or you are rebellious for a cause. If you actually just give it a thought, it changes signs every 7 years. And we all very well remember the 7 year itch. That's a sign of Uranus changing the signs and urging us to either declutter or again re strategize. And once a year, it spins backwards for 6.5 months. This helps us to connect with our original self, depend upon our inner strength and intelligence. So exercise your uniqueness, originality, inventiveness, intuitions, and individualism. Stop being impetuous, rebellious, or impatient. Uranus is the only planet that helps you recognize your own faults, which, if negated, can actually become refined and evolve into positive qualities. This planet Uranus is definitely unpredictable, and during its retrograde, it does push you towards a wall from where there is no escape but to realize what troubles you. You can no more push it under the carpet. Often, this retrograde transit is misunderstood by astrologers because the event that catalyzes the change is assumed to be central or the focus of attention. Whereas the event only forces you to look at options. For example, some may be forced to reassess their career after losing a job. And at times, in facing a career change, you find and you take the courage and motivation to change your unsatisfactory marriage, which was the root cause of all problems. So, if you don't take out the root cause of the problems, chances are in the next career or in the next job that you have, the problems will be the same. So, you take out the root cause and rest assured the things in future will be happy and healthy. So we all know a personal healthy life leads to a productive successful career. Sometimes there are issues in life which dampen the spirit and we need to eliminate them. So normally the effect of Uranus is always felt more profoundly from the age of 35 onwards as our intelligence and maturity had set in. So, welcoming the changes happening in your life will help you handle the variations of life better. Making adjustments not only transforms you from within, in fact, it revolutionizes your life for the better. Embracing the variations willingly brought about by the Uranus retrograde will help you eliminate fear, appreciation for yourself, and you will be able to cultivate a more balanced, serene, and a happier approach to life. What I have found helpful during the Uranus retrograde is being curious and open. Before the retrograde catches its momentum, which is from 24th August to January 2023, I actually wrote down in my journal the things I wanted to change in my life this year. And I don't fear changes. In fact, I look forward to the newness with excitement. So rather than feeling scared or fighting against what needs to be changed, you can write down your thoughts to even now, because we have 5 months to embrace the change and be positive about the future. Because you get back, the universal intelligence is such that it actually gives you back what you have sent the message to the universe. So Uranus is retrograde in the sign of Taurus. It creates changes around the foundations that we have built our lives on. The structures fall, relationships evolve, and they grow in different ways. Being that Uranus is the only planet other than Venus, which is in the opposite rotation of the Earth, this retrograde is a planetary slowdown that allows us to understand matters on a very deep level. So utilize the universal intelligence that is forever in its discipline. It will be helpful to keep in mind that Uranus always represents patterns from the past. So if you are to break a jinx in your life, then now is the time to embrace the changes, patience, and self control that are best learned through negative consequences. You can change your world by being the change or bringing in the change. How the Uranus retrograde is going to affect each zodiac, I have prepared a video very briefly telling you what to do, because you guys need to understand that firstly, select your identity, work through your identity. After having worked through your identity, you'll be able to embrace the change much faster and develop an attitude which will actually bring out your altitude. So, till my next, stay blessed.